worst nightmare scenario for me, so I'm sorry. I was like, oh, if I had been there, I would have come.
No, that's totally fine. I have a bunch of people that said that they'll come on Thursday, and so I'm wondering if like the weekend nights are a lot better. Um, and so I rescheduled for Tuesday and this following Tuesday. So we'll hopefully get some more people to come. But
good luck. Yeah, I mean, Saturday mornings usually you have kids stuff, or you sleep in, or I guess like I'm trying to think of reasons people weren't there.
Well, it's summer too, and I didn't even realize that Father's Day was that weekend when I planned it, and I was like, oh, people might have gone out of town, or they had family in town, or something, and I was like, oh, that was bad timing on my
part. That makes sense.
I mean, is really something that concerns me too, because of the fact that like when you have Father's Day and then you have the 4th of July at like the end of when we can teach. Yeah. So I'm like, everyone's gonna be out of town.
Mhm. I know the summer's really hard. I decided to, well, for anything, to plan anything, it's really hard because people always have activities going on and stuff. So.
Sorry, I was still listening. I just had to shut the door. I live near campus, and they're doing a bunch of construction, and all I could hear was cranes crashing, things like that. So I'm like, I'm going to shut the door so I can actually hear you ladies. But yeah, summer's kind of hard to find a good time because you've got activities and kids and out of town and family.
So you did yours in the evening, right?
Yeah. I got mine Wednesday and Thursday evenings. Because I asked the therapist, because that's where I was doing it at, was their facilities, and they're like, these are, the nights that we close or don't have appointments later, so can do it then. And I was surprised that 5 people showed up to each. I was pretty thrilled. Wow. Yay, 5. And it went really well. I had therapists there to kind of like back me up when I needed clarification, or there was 1 or 2 questions. There was 1 question in each workshop where I was like, ooh, professional? I don't want to answer that one and be responsible, so I kind of answered it the best way I could, and then I deferred to the people that make money for a living doing this kind of stuff. So I was really happy to have professionals there.
Yeah, did you invite them? Like, that's really cool that they came.
Yeah, and they saw it as like a kind of a marketing opportunity for their business, workshop and, occupational therapists and speech and whatnot. So they stayed late, which I really appreciated, because, I mean, it was a weeknight, but they stayed an extra 2 hours, so it was nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it turned out really good. Generally, all things considered. I'm just glad it's over.
Oh, that.
I can just work on the 5 billion pages of writing and stuff that we have to do. Good.
Okay, Lindsay said she hasn't looked at the assignments this week, but she'll hurry and get on in just a second. Okay.
So when I read through the assignment, I was like, this is really what we're doing for our assignment? Because I feel like we've already been doing that in our meetings.
We have.
Yeah, and I think I'm the only one that's taught so far, so it's going to be kind of. We can give advice, I guess.
Yeah. I want to know how you guys have done marketing. Like, what did you guys do to market?
Well, I did flyers around town. Of course, the businesses that I did it at, I left flyers there, and they posted it on their doors and stuff like that, and they were able to hand out flyers to clients and everything if they thought they were interested. And then I put some at like the library and Walmart, or, those billboards that no one really looks at, but sometimes they look at. I did that, and then I'm part of several like online Facebook groups here in Rexburg, and so I sent out. It's the same flyer, just digitally on the Facebook groups. And actually, I think I contacted more people that way than I did actually the old school way of handing out flyers. So that's how I marketed. And then I have people on Facebook that, of course, don't live here that are asking if I'm doing a webinar. And I told them, well, if I get like 20 requests or something, I will. But otherwise, it's going to take up several more hours of my time. And it's summer with my kids, and my husband and I are both in classes. So I'm like, well, if I get so many, then it'll be worth my time. But I've met my 4-hour teaching, so I'm just like, well, we'll see if we get enough people requesting. So far, there's only like 10, so we'll see.
That's still quite a bit, though.
It is. Like, 10's enough where I'm like, I feel kind of bad for not doing it. So I might end up doing it anyway.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or even just doing like a Google Hangouts and then just recording it and being like, here you guys go, you guys can watch it whenever.
I haven't, yeah, like that was one option. I hadn't really thought about like how I would do it. I have a blog that I haven't like opened up in a year, right? Because the last time I did it was for a school assignment, and it's still there. So I'm like, well, I could just make little videos and say that these are the order you need to watch them in, or you can just watch specific subjects, and they'd be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Oh, like, we'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna hurry and let my dog in 1 second.
Hey, Lindsay made it. And Gretchen. Sorry. You're both here. Hi, Lindsay.
Hello.
Sorry, last minute. Did you not get the emails, or were you just not able to look at the assignments yet this week?
Well, until you mentioned it, I didn't see any emails up until, I guess because I was looking at my phone too throughout this week, so I didn't see any until today. And I just been trying to do other assignments. I'm trying to get time for this class better, because usually I'm like, well, this one's hardest, so let me try to get all the other busy work classes done first, and before their deadline's on Wednesday, and then I'll look at this class, and so it sort of has been working, sort of not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been a crazy day.
I'm letting my dog outside. He is being crazy right now.
I have my kids folding like 3 piles of laundry, so that keeps them busy long enough for this meeting. Be like, here is your 5 loads. Start folding. I've already heard one mom in the background, so
It might be coming to an end soon, huh?
yeah, we'll see how long.
Lindsay, have you picked a day yet to teach?
No, I haven't. It's just been crazy. Life has been, so I haven't picked a day yet, which I need to, which is bad, because I think there's like a deadline, and because there is, which is really bad. But other than that, I should, like, yeah, I think I should be big on it. It's just been crazy. Life has been, so yeah.
Do you have all your curriculum and stuff ready? Like, are you ready and just haven't picked a date?
I'm almost. I need to finish revamping my third one, and hopefully my second one got. It stinks because once I pilot teach, I'm like, oh man, I need to change all this stuff. So I go back and like change it. I should just stick with it after I change stuff, but I just need to look up to see if the second one's been, the feedback's been back to see if I get that passed off, and then hopefully I'll turn the third one, and then. Because I'm scared to start without having all my lessons done, to making sure it's all pass off and good. But yeah, the third one's just been harder to do because part of it of my curriculum is that I wanted them to teach them that to accept things out of their control, and it's hard to teach that to someone instead of just telling them, because it's not like I'm gonna make them suffer through something unpleasant. And it's like, well, you have to accept it, it's kind of unethical. So so that one has been harder to think of ways to do, and I still I'm not 100% sure if it's effective, but we'll see.
So are you doing 3 lesson plans then?
Am I doing what?
3 lesson plans?
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It is a lot, but it's good.
Yeah. It's
But what?
probably a little bit easier to break it up into the 3 sections than to try and fit it all into one.
Yeah, I ended up having it was gonna be 4, but I decided to push into 3. And one of because yeah, I had to end up cutting it more because like I couldn't all the stuff I had I couldn't fit into just one.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, mine was supposed to be an hour and a half, and they each ran over to 2 hours. So I was like, oh, I completed my 4 hours. And luckily, no one was like looking at their watches and like freaking out that we were going over. But the like because I could have cut things throughout the presentation, except for all the questions they were asking throughout the presentation was going to be covered. So I was like, well, we'll just keep going with it. So mine ran over 2 hours, and I didn't think that it would, but yeah, they each made 2 hour workshops. It's like, oh, if I had known that, I might have at least made the flyer say that it was going to be 2 hours, so people were a little bit more prepared for how long they were. But we had refreshments at 1, so I think that helped.
That's so nice. I wanted to do that, but I can't at the library. So I think I'll just make little treat bags that they can take home.
Well, yeah, I can't take credit for like the refreshments or the treats. The therapy place bought cookies and
Oh, that's so
Nice.
nice.
wow, yay, thank you. You make me look good because I didn't plan that. So it went, like I said, it went really well. So just glad it's done.
Do they want you to come back and do more workshops and stuff?
They've mentioned it. They're like, do you, because both places were saying that they wanted to do more of these kinds of things for parents. And I said, well, that's what I'm getting my degree in, except for, you'd have to pay me. And yeah, I know these people well enough that we all just kind of
Yeah.
laughed. But I was like, seriously, though.
You're gonna joke.
But yeah, the first place offered me a job if I decided to be an occupational therapist. They said you could work here. I'm like, well, I'm in the wrong degree for that, so I'd have to change things, and I'm not sure I'm willing to go 3 more years and change things to do it. But
Yeah, and then you have an occupational therapist. That's a master's degree, right?
yeah, like that's more schooling.
Yeah, I really want to go back to school.
Yeah, especially when I'm like getting near the finish line and I'd have to just go back. But it's an option. It's a good job. It pays well, flexible,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. So it was nice to leave with like an option and an internship offer too. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it turned out good. I was just I didn't have to be as nervous as I was.
Yeah. Was there anything that like went? I'm trying to think how to phrase it. That you like question? Well, I guess you mentioned questions that you couldn't answer, but were there anything else in like your during the workshop that you were kind of like, oh shoot, wish I would have prepared this more, or
Like not with the first one. The first one, it felt some of the participants knew each other, and so it felt kind of a little bit more laid back and relaxed. Sorry for messages. But the second one, it was interesting. The second one, none of the participants knew each other previously, and one couple came in late, and the dad slept the whole time. I was like, awkward. And then the second, there was another couple, and the dad on that couple was on his phone the majority of the time. And they also brought their 3 kids, but luckily it's a place that's equipped to handle small children. But they would kind of distract their parents a little bit with toys or wanting to just being 3 and 4-year-old children. Um, that was kind of different, but I was like, well, I've taught nursery and I've taught kids, and they're not gonna bother me. But yeah, it was the question after the workshop was officially over. Luckily, he didn't ask it in front of everybody, kind of putting me on the spot. He came up to me afterwards and asked a specific question, and I had to think about it for a second, and then I I answered it as best I could, but then I was like, but really talk to your occupational therapist about that, because I did not research that.
Yeah.
And there was one where he was talking, same guy, but during the workshop he asked about adult diagnoses, and I didn't have any answers for that. But luckily, like I said, my two professionals for that one, I had a speech and occupational therapist that were there, and they were able to answer some of those questions that I was like, I am focused on children, and I did not research any local resources for adults, which makes me think that I probably should have.
That's what makes me nervous is like, what if they ask questions like that where it's something that I didn't research? Like, how do I do that? But
Yeah, like most of all the other questions, I had researched or had knowledge of, and I could answer with confidence. But yeah, that one threw me through a loop where I was like, it was crazy. Anyway, good times.
okay, so I pulled up like what we're supposed to do because I feel like you're just gonna talk the whole time since you're the only one that I've taught. But it says if you haven't presented yet, you can discuss how marketing and planning is going, concerns and questions. So do any of you guys have like concerns or questions about?
Yeah, your workshop or marketing.
Yeah. Mine's sort of one because I have my flyers, right, and I end up picking one, and it was gonna be the Murphy's Law one because it was cool. But I touched base with our teacher, and she said, like, I'm not sure if everyone will get the reference though, and if you have to explain, it won't be as effective. So I'm like, I don't know what title else I could do for a title, but I don't know. I may go off with it still because I think enough people would understand what Murphy's Law is, or ask someone. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know if I know what Murphy's Law is.
Wait, you don't know
really
what Murphy's?
anyway. Like, even if I didn't know, I'd be like, "Whoa, that's kind of a cool flyer, though."
Ah.
Murphy's Law, isn't it anything that can happen, will happen, or does happen,
Yeah.
or something like
Anything
that?
that
I don't
can
know the
go.
direct wording of it.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so I may, and I also think about too, I may just put that as the title, like actually put the saying. I was thinking of that instead. That's the only other things I can think of. Because it's just a hard title to think of. It's just hard. It's just such a, try and make it clear but not ambiguous and,
I think you could do that. I think instead of just Murphy's Law, you could just put, do you feel like anything that can go wrong does go wrong?
Yeah.
And then you can have the explanation underneath it, like what your workshop's about, and then they'll be like, oh.
Yeah. Like that, because I was thinking like anything that can go wrong will go wrong, like the survival handbook or something like that. Something funnier.
Oh,
that sounds fun. Yeah, that actually sounds a lot of fun. The survival handbook, I like that.
Yeah. So thanks.
I think the thing is that, we just kind of, I'm still slightly working on some of this stuff too. I just got some more things approved from her. But I've noticed that the more I try to keep it simple, the easier it's been. Especially with like coming up with titles and stuff. As long as I'm keeping it simple, then it seems like it's going to go a lot further with a variety of audiences than trying to listen.
Thanks.
And
yeah, I like the simple idea because it's been hard, especially since my topic is like, how to help people overcome learning helplessness. But like she said, yeah, we don't have to say that at all. So I was like, oh man, it'd be hard to think of a title, which is good, but then it's hard to think of a title that makes it cater to that target audience without telling them what it is about. It was kind of weird. As I was like,
I honestly haven't even used my title. Like I did what Kelly did for this upcoming one, where I went onto a couple different Facebook groups, and marketed my workshop, and I was just like, hey, parents of teenagers, like, do you want to, and I explained my workshop, and then I didn't even use the title, so I don't know if that's bad or me. I don't know if it's that big of a deal if you have the perfect title.
Yeah.
In other words, no stress about it. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like with groups, it doesn't quite matter compared to like on a more professional flyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Gretchen, what have you been doing for?
Like I'm all distracted. Sorry, a bunch of kids just came into my house, so I'm like, what's going on? Summer. Sorry.
Yeah,
So if
no
I'm like
worries.
doing this, trying to listen for children crying or something, that's why. I'm not meaning to be distracting.
No, it's just fine.
Okay,
Gretchen,
good.
how have you been marketing? Have you started yet?
I have started. I got my flyer approved from her. And so I'm working on getting my flyers out, and I've been talking about it like at church and different things too, to people I know that will come, because that's kind of something I do fear is that people won't come. So I talk to people that I know will come, because once certain people I know about something, then they'll just come to it because they're really good at supporting what's going on in the community.
That's good.
And I'm also in like our Relief Society presidency, so like as far as like announcing it to members and stuff, I got that covered, no problem. So I mean, and that since I am having it at our church building, I think that talking to like the different wards and different things like that and getting it out there is a good start, because at least I know that members will be willing to come to the shop.
And it's at such a convenient place. Everyone knows where the church is, and
Yeah.
they're used to going there.
Yeah.
I think where I'm at, I think what I'm worried about the most is that I'm doing my workshops as 2-hour workshops, but I'm having like a break in the middle where I'm kind of switching focus. And I think I'm more worried about like that break in the middle and losing people during that time when I'm switching my focus.
That's what I was worried about. I had it in my, I don't remember which assignment it was, but I said that we were going to have like a little break, and I was like, shoot, I'm going to lose people if I do a break.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to know like how to break that up so that they can still stretch their legs or whatever, or I don't know. But I also wondered too if I could get going on stuff, if it just kind of like flows and you don't really need that break. Because I've sat through like meetings that have been 2 hours and like, oh, this is so interesting, this is fine. And then there's others that are like, oh my gosh, I want to go.
Yeah, because like I said, mine was originally supposed to be an hour and a half, and I was going to take a break like 45 minutes in, but people showed up late, and so it's like, well, and then the flow was really well. Like I felt like if I did take a break, then like I would totally really mess up the flow that was going, especially between like audience participation and asking questions and messing up my mentality because I was like in my zone. But so we didn't take a break, and it ended up being fine. And like I said, we ran over what was expected, and I think everyone was okay with it. No one was freaking out, so at least not outwardly.
Yeah.
And so I think you could take a break. I would say play it by ear. Like if you feel like people are getting restless or they're starting to wonder, or I had a guy falling asleep. So I just I understand, if you take a break, that would be fine. Just play it by ear with how your audience is kind of being attentive or not. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I like what yours had food though too. So if they needed a break, or if that break happens, they can be still in the room. They still feel like they had a break, but they won't leave. But they feel obliged to stay more.
That's true. That's true. They couldn't leave.
If I have any questions or concerns about mine, I'm just hoping that someone. Well, actually, I do know people will show up on Thursday, but I don't know.
But still, dang. When I read that, I really felt so bummed for you because, like, oh, now she has to plan another one and try to get people to come to that one because you have to fill up the hours.
Yeah. And usually I'm such a perfectionist and I'm such like I worry over everything and I just want everything to be perfect. And I'm like this semester I'm just so laid back and I don't know if it's because it's my final semester that I'm just kind of like, who cares? You know, I don't know. It will happen, whatever.
Yeah,
I tried and
it's probably a good mentality to have because, yeah, I stress out, freak out. It doesn't really do any good. Like, it's circumstances out of my control.
Yeah,
Way
I
to
have
have
a
a good
question.
attitude.
I have a question though, that if I remember right. So when we do our meetings, we need everyone to like write down their name who came, or do we just need like the number who came to our workshop?
I just wrote down the number. I was
Okay.
specific in, like, I had 3 ladies and 1 couple, or I had 2 couples and a single mom. And that's how specific I was. I didn't put down names of anybody, just the numbers and, like, the dynamics of who the people were. And, of course, and I put the professionals in there as well that attended.
Okay. Thanks.
And she graded my first one and got it back, and it was okay. So
That's good.
I'm assuming that was good enough.
so have you written your paper for your
I'm gonna start on it today. I wrote my reflection summaries and stuff like that yesterday. I got them turned in, and then today start writing on my paper. Which after like doing all the research and it's kind of in my head still, I think writing the paper is going to be the easiest part of this class. For me anyway, because the whole English minor thing really has helped out a lot in this class. So.
Oh my gosh, I bet. I feel like my grammar has gotten so worse with college. It should be getting better, but I think it's that senioritis where I'm just like, I just don't pay attention to detail anymore. So I'm like, ugh, that would be so nice to have. I kind of wish I did grammar, or I mean English minor or something.
Well, and like I haven't even learned anything grammar-wise really. Like that's why I went ahead and switched my English to a minor because I felt like I wasn't learning anything. I was like, well, if I'm not learning anything, I'm not going to be able to get a job with this either. So I better just switch it. But because my grammar stinks. But I actually got, because I'm a nerd, I got like English grammar for dummies, and I use it.
That's a good. I should do that. Well, I should have done that when I first started college.
But yeah, so I recommend that book if you struggle with your grammar. It's easy to kind of follow. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get the paper done this week. So next week I just have to like finish everything up. I wanna be as technically done with this class as soon as possible because it is summer and kids, and we're going on vacation in the middle of July, and I would really like to just not have to worry about this class anymore now that the workshops are done. So that's my encouragement for you. Once the workshops are done, you don't have to worry about stuff anymore. You just have to do the paperwork.
And I think that's the hardest part too, is the workshop.
Yeah, it was. I'm not a public speaker, and so teaching strangers was really stressing me out. So I stayed in bed for like an extra hour the days afterward. I was like, I'm not doing anything. Yeah, that's my advice. Just get it done. It's like a Band-Aid.
I know, like public speaking class, that something that's really important before you teach is just to practice it. Practice it in front of the mirror, practice it to your dog or your kids, whatever. Just keep practicing it because it will help take away a lot of your nerves when you actually teach it.
Yeah, you definitely feel more confident, right?
Yeah, no, I think it was a great idea because I remember when I even just in the pilot when we practice teaching, I didn't like prepare it at all. I just we prepared, but not like practice teaching. So like I know, and I did it to practice teaching, but I was totally nervous. It was nerve-wracking just for practicing. And so yeah, I like the idea to keep up practicing because I'll probably
Yeah, with the
die in
pilot.
teaching.
Sorry.
You can go.
I was saying with the pilot teaching that helped me out a lot too because I hadn't practiced it at all, and I discovered that I say all the time, like all the time. And so when my visiting teacher pointed that out, and she's like, "You might want to work on that," and I really did. Like I really had to work on not saying or so. Those are my fillers, and I use them all the time. So yeah, the pilot teaching and practicing really did help.
I know mine was my filler word is like, which is bad because I said it stinks when you're trying to think of an example, so you have to use that word or a word like it to transition in. But man, filler words are going to be my downfall.
I like the practicing too. I did it in the mirror because I just wanted to see how my body language was, and I noticed I fidget a lot. So like with a pen, like I sit there and click it. Um, but then like I also get really nervous when I public speak and I speak really really fast. Well, I do that anyways, but then it gets even worse when I'm nervous. And what else did I learn? Oh, it helped me just like formulate my thoughts. So I like knew how to like transition better because sometimes I don't know how to transition from like now having slides it's easier for that transition, but practicing you kind of know like what you're gonna say. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah. Any other
Guys, have any
tips
more
or concerns,
tips,
questions?
questions?
Not
Okay,
right
so
now.
sorry. So
Oh,
sorry, I'm all like tired and Benadrylled up here. But Madison and I were talking about a possible webinar, and I know that the professor and everybody was saying that they want to do it in person as much as possible. But I'm wondering if we would just get more audience that way. Does that make sense? Because a lot of people, and I can acclaim to this, are lazy. Don't want to and you have kids or plans, and it's just easier to do stuff online now. So I'm wondering if maybe I'm thinking about doing that one webinar for people that are requesting it, but you guys can always kind of think about that when you're trying to figure out how to section off. And of course, I don't know how much approval and everything you need for it, but
yeah.
If
I
no
like the
one
idea
comes,
though.
I'll ask. I'll say, "Can I do it?" No, that'd be good because sometimes like you can just sit in bed and watch it. You don't have to go anywhere. And I'm like that. Like once I'm there, I'm fine. But it's like getting somewhere. Like I really struggle. I hate going places. But yeah, webinars would be really good.
Yeah.
Tilly, you said people come in late. How did you handle that? Had you already started, or did you start
yeah,
late, or?
No, I had already started. With the first one, it was just a female mom that came in late, and she came in at a really good time because it was more of like discussion that was going on rather than me just standing up there. So like while we were discussing, I was able to just hand her, my handout packet, and it really didn't interrupt the flow. The second time, the second workshop, the couple came in late, and like I said, the dad just came in and fell asleep. And then, but the mom that was there, and I just, I kept going with my lecture and just handed, a packet, and they just handed it back. So I really tried not to let it interrupt what was going on, but I still wanted them to have, the information and the resources packet that I had. So I just tried to do it like as discreetly as possible, not bring attention to it so much as just keep going, and then just hand, kind of like what teachers do if a student comes in late. well, nice teachers. The mean ones point them out, but the nice teachers just kind of keep going with their session. And so I tried to, it's like, well, dad's sleeping and that one's on the phone, but the moms are really engaged, so I just try to maintain eye contact with them. So I think it went okay. I don't think it was too distracting. I was just glad that I ended up with 5 people. So yeah, you guys can come late because you're here. Any other questions? I don't.
If I
What
think
else
of
do
them,
I
I'll
advise?
email you guys. I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
after tonight, not tonight, tomorrow night, I'll taught my class, so I might have something. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't have
Listen,
any
good
questions
vibes
either.
your guys' way so people come.
Let us know how it goes.
yeah.
For sure.
I know, how far are you? If they don't come, we'll come. We'll fly over there.
You're from Provo, so you're probably got like 12 hours.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
in
drive up
Rexburg,
there.
so I'm probably around 10.
In that, I have family in that area. Gotta let me know when it is, and I'll tell them to.
Okay, it's Thursday at the library at 5:30.
Okay. I'll post
Did
it on
your
Facebook for you.
Madison, did your library charge you money
Mm-mm.
to rent the room? Yeah, Rexburg was trying to like $30 an hour. Like,
Whoa.
no.
I called
So
on
I went
Monday
ahead and did that.
somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Crazy.
I called on Monday and to reserve the room again, and they're like, "Well, the county really doesn't want us having people use the library conference room because it's like down 2 flights of stairs in like a bomb shelter, so it's not handicap accessible and stuff." And I was like, "Well, I already have one planned there. Can I just it'd just be easier if I just had it in the same place." And they're like, "Okay, I guess so." I was like, I don't know why they gave me such crap. Like the first time they're like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." The second time, like, "Well, you can go to the fire station." I was like, "I don't want to go to the fire station."
I've noticed in our area it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys have questions or anything, we can just do a group email and that will count too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I recorded this just in case, but it didn't say anything about doing a video. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have to post it. I think we just have to write a summary on the advice we gave.
yeah,
So.
which was pretty much just you.
I was like, okay.
I'm really bad.
No. Well, we haven't taught yet, so we're kind of like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ladies.
All right.
Well, good
We'll
luck.
see you guys
Let
later.
us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Same here.